Mark, if I can have you begin by saying something about the history of the Institute.
The Institute of Jewish Studies has been at University College since 1959, but it wasn't always like it is now. It began as a Wednesday afternoon seminar every week, and it was for 5 or 6 people usually who were listeners. The big problem was trying to find an audience, and everybody a speaker received the princely sum of £23.17. Now what happened was that as I took over the Institute of Jewish Studies in the 1980s, early 80s, I met a colleague who said, well, if you're having 10 speakers come every term, why not have them come all on the same day and have a conference? And this seemed like such a wonderful idea that the next term we did exactly that. We had a conference, but then of course a colleague said, but you can't give up the seminars, and as a matter of fact, why just have seminars at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, make them later in the day, open them to the public, and let everybody come. So within a short time, the Institute's program began to develop in a completely different way than it had ever had functioned previously, since its beginnings in 1954. The Institute of Jewish Studies is a completely unique institution, not only within the UK, but within Europe as well. That is, it is parcel and part of the Department of Hebrew and Jewish Studies at UCL. Its main role is to organize all public events, public lectures, seminars, and conferences to which everybody is invited. Anyone who wants to come is able to come. The Institute of Jewish Studies does no teaching. The Department of Hebrew and Jewish Studies is involved, like all other academic departments, with teaching and research and supervising of PhD students, but it does not have the burden of trying to organize public events. The great symbiosis here is that the Institute of Jewish Studies is not only at home and part of the department, but it takes advantage of all the department's expertise. Lectures and conferences can be very ephemeral. Someone comes, gives a lecture, goes away, and that's that. But fortunately, for many years now, we have, actually for more than 20 years now, we have a policy of publishing all of the Institute's conferences and symposia as these very handsome volumes published by the international publishers Brill, and so that these form a permanent record of the scholarship which is offered in our conferences that will be with us for many, many years to come. Lectures are much more interesting now than they used to be, with PowerPoint and audiovisual things and films, etc. It's amazing over the past 30 years I've noticed that the quality of lectures has improved enormously. It's true, people used to say, aren't these lectures a bit boring? In the old days, 30 years ago, many of them used to be a bit boring, but not today. Lectures are normally given in even though they're extremely high level of academic expertise, they're often given in a very entertaining and appealing sort of way, so that lectures have become much better in recent years in conveying even abstract ideas and abstract data.
Well, I can think of a couple as well where we've had, in addition to things that we've seen, some interesting music that's gone along with the presentations.
We've even had live music programs, people playing music on pianos, and of course films, and we're open to all kinds of possibilities.
What kind of audience?
We never know. Every lecture is different. It's amazing how, and when I look around at every single lecture, I'm never sure who's going to come and how many people will come, because they're always different. Because different subjects attract different people, and there's an interesting mix of young and old, and academic and non-academic, and people coming out of pure interest, and sometimes colleagues and students, etc. So there's a wonderful mix, and we always offer a glass of wine beforehand because we want people to mix. We want people to informally mix, to meet the speakers, and to be able to feel part of this event.
Is there any single event or lecture that you're most proud of in the time that you've been director?
Well, there are many good, important events we've had. I think my favorite was the 40th anniversary of the Dead Sea Scrolls, when we showed up at the lecture theatre with the BBC sound units, trucks everywhere, recording all of the lectures and the entire program, because it was later to become a documentary on BBC Radio 4. And that, I think, was in my experience, was the most exciting of programs that we've had, but there have been many, many important ones.
Mark, can I have you say something about what makes the program of the IJS distinctive, particularly in its context in the UK?
There are other organizations that offer public lectures on Jewish studies. These tend to be rather short-lived and usually upon a very specific topic. The Institute of Jewish Studies offers a complete and comprehensive range of lectures on every aspect of Jewish studies, starting with biblical studies, medieval studies, rabbinics, Talmud, religious, from a religious point of view, from a secular point of view, Jewish, other subjects like Jewish mysticism, then going into the modern European history, of course the Holocaust, post-Holocaust, Zionism, lectures about modern Israeli literature or about modern politics. Every conceivable range of subjects is covered by these lectures of the IJS in an annual basis, comprehensively, year after year, and on a permanent basis. This is our aim.
Okay, can you say something about the current range of scholars who have been presenting at the Institute?
Well, over the years, since the 50s, we've had hundreds and hundreds of public lectures and scholars who've appeared at our conferences and reading papers. And I think every important name in Jewish studies or in Semitic studies, historians of the Second World War, historians of ancient historians, medieval historians, linguists, philologists, psychologists, of all ranges, of anything that's at all related to what we do in the Hebrew and Jewish Studies Department. These people have come to London from all over, from Japan, from China, from the United States, from Israel, from all European countries, from South America even. We've had speakers everywhere, and the most important names in Jewish studies have also come, and they have contributed to this great legacy. One of the founding principles of the Institute of Jewish Studies was that all of our programs should be free and open to the public. That is the academic public and the non-academic public, the public at large. Now, this comes from a bygone era when the universities were also free. But the principle was that there should be no barriers to learning, including financial barriers, that anybody who wanted to come would be encouraged to come. We're offering important information here and important events, and everybody who is able to come should be free to do so. I think people believe, because we have such outstanding speakers who come from around the world and everything is free, that we are supported by large donations from University College itself. This is not true. University College provides our home, provides none of the financing for our events. All of the financing comes from charities, from trusts, from foundations, and from private donations and volunteer contributions. This is what we're entirely dependent upon for this very exciting and important program which we offer.